Ooh, there we go. Hi guys. Oh, I'm hoping I'm loud enough. I am a little under the weather, but we're gonna make it work. So, I am gonna go and share this in our groups, and that way we can have everybody here that needs to be here. So we are going to share now. Okay, as myself. Share more options. There we go. Hi guys, say hi when you're here. If you have questions, ask them. I will be looking at them randomly. I'm doing it this way through the page so that we can have it for not only our female people, but also our non-binary and our males and anybody else. So just give me 2 seconds to go ahead and share this everywhere it needs to be so everybody knows we're here. And we will be ready to go. Of course, say hi, let me know you're here. And all of that.
If you have questions, ask them.
I'm gonna make sure there's no comments going on so that, you know, blah blah blah. Whatever. So hi guys, I'm Bree from the Boudoir Studio. You probably already know who I am. Let's give it just a minute for everybody to tune on and say hi. And then we're gonna go from there. If you have any questions at the moment, if you wanna just talk to me, whatever, let me know. As I said, I am slightly under the weather. My kid gave me a cold, so I'm going to be downing tea, which cooled down really fast. So I'm probably going to have my husband be warming me tea. Hey Cheryl! I'm so excited you finally booked your session. So excited. So today's live is really just to talk to you guys about our experiences, to give you all the information that I possibly can about them, and just go over like a gist of what they look like and how we do things here. They're a little bit different than how everybody else does them. So the goal is to just give you the down low on who I am, what I do, what our experiences are like. I hope that that is helpful. Again, questions are definitely preferred, and they are welcome, and they would help me a lot. So ask away. If you know nothing about our experiences, this is the time to dive in and learn everything you possibly can. It's really the first live, I guess, besides announcing our Black Friday sale, that starts our month of lives, or 2 months of lives, because we're doing this through November too. So tonight is the first live that will be on this page and be shared everywhere. And then the rest of them will be here as well because everybody can see them that way. So it makes for it to be easier, and it makes it whatever. My client made me this cup, and it says, "Chasing her adventures thanks to you." So she made me a thing, and it's so cute. She tells me all the time how I inspired her to just be who you are, right? Yes, I definitely want to tell a story with your experience. We just have to, have a consult, sit down, and decide what story we want to tell, what your story is, and learn all about it. So I love it. Yeah, that's the goal, right? I don't want my experiences to just be pictures. I don't want them to just be something that just you come, bing, bang, boom, you're done, and you leave. That's not kind of what we do here. What we do here is create this amazing experience in which you do homework and you do all these other things and tasks and assignments to grow who you are as a person and to find that confidence and to become the best version of yourself. That's really our goal here, is like, I'm just trying to get you to the best version of you. And we do that through this experience and everything that comes before it, but also things that come after it and things that come during it. And all of that. And so I think the difference is I don't want you to just come in and want some pretty pictures. That's not what we're doing, and that's not what I want to be doing. And in 2023, that's going to be very obvious that I'm going to change a lot of shit for that to be obvious that that's my mission, and that the photo part is not. I love being a photographer, but I really just want to change people's lives. So, yeah. I don't know how I'm doing that at the moment. as in changing it to not just be photos, but we're getting there. I'm going to give people, I guess, a few more minutes. I don't know what they be doing. Joe, can you warm my tea up? It got cold. Cool. There's literally 3 of you. I don't really know what's happening. I don't know if I didn't alert in the group that I did it. Joe doesn't have pants on.
Enjoy the show.
Also, Joe's starting an OnlyFans.
Is that how you drop it?
That's how I was supposed to drop. He wanted me to make a big deal, but that's going to be my secret drop right here. Is that Joe wants an OnlyFans, so. Or Joe is starting an OnlyFans. So, I was really hoping that this would reach the group. But did anybody get a notification that I posted in the group? Or anything? Because just trying to make sure that the group got it. Yeah, cool. Anyway, so let's talk about our experiences. So here at the Boudoir Studio, things are just a little bit, as I said, a little bit different. We kind of already went over that. But we offer different types of experiences, obviously. That goes from any gender, or under any gender orientation, any sexual orientation, any partners, any couples, any whatever, right? We don't care what you are, what your body looks like, what you identify as. It doesn't really matter. We've shot furries before. We've shot DDLG before. We've shot, well, I say I've shot, right? We've shot it all. And so you're not going to turn us away from you unless you're trying to do something illegal or cross some other bounds, I guess. There's not many rules that we have, just 3. But we're not going to go into those right now. We're going to stay away from the erotica side because we're going to do a whole different live on that, right? But as far as experiences, we offer couples, partners is what I like to call them now, because all of my partners are not just couples. Sometimes we have thruples and
Still
more
have
than
no
that.
pants
What?
on. Said still have no pants on.
I mean, that butt go.
Enjoy.
Love you. And so we have a different variety, right? And by saying couples, we're limiting to the idea of 2 people when we do not want to do that. We don't want to limit because we are not the judgmental, shameful part of society that wants to be like that. So, and we've also tried to move away from just female identifying stuff, right? Or a female based boudoir, because if you look in the boudoir industry, it's just really sexist. It's really hard to find photographers who aren't just female based, and so a lot of the posts that you'll see in a lot of websites are like, become the true feminine you, embrace your femininity, find yourself as a woman again. But we love couples, we'll totally shoot couples. So what are you saying? Or I hear oh, the man's just a prop, for couple sessions. And that's not what we do either. No one's just a prop in my studio. Your emotions as partners are just equally important. And each person is just as important. And so I don't feel like saying that a male is a prop is okay. And so that's not what we do here. So that's another thing. So anyway, we offer, I know, men are incredible. We offer male identifying sessions, non-binary sessions, female sessions, whatever. Really kind of a whole list of individual boudoir sessions. As far as erotica, we only offer individual female erotica, identifying erotica, but we do offer individual male erotica if you've been a previous client, or non-binary erotica if you've been a previous client. We do this for the fact of safety and comfortability. We've had some issues, obviously, with males and the way that they've gone about things and discussed things and the way they've acted. So we had to set another boundary, and that just makes me safer and makes us know each other before you're coming in and wanking it during a session. Honestly. So, yeah. Just like with females, most of the time I get to know them very well before they come in and they're playing with themselves in front of me. We just obviously connect more, and it's easier to see that they're not there for other reasons. As far as, let's see, I forgot where I was going with this, but couples. Oh yeah, couples. So it doesn't matter whether you're if you're a couple or you're individual or you're partners, like there's more than one of you, whatever, the price difference is not, there's no price difference. The only difference in prices is when it comes to erotica. So the only time our prices increase is when you choose to do erotica instead of boudoir, because there's a bunch more like legalities to that, and so we cover those by that price increase. It does not matter whether you want to add more people. The only thing is, obviously, if you want more hair and makeup, like another person, it's more than one person, you do have to pay for that, and we go from there. But we have changed our things to no longer include hair and makeup for that reason, because thinking about it and trying to become less just female focused, we've realized that not everybody's going to want makeup, and we've pushed this idea that everybody needs makeup, right? And by including it and saying, like, it's already in your experience, like, get it, what style do you want, whatever. And there's women who just want to be natural and they don't want the makeup. And there's other people who just want to be natural and don't want the makeup, or they don't wear makeup. And then there's men who want to wear the makeup. So, like, we're just trying to figure out how to be the most inclusive and diverse as we possibly can. Yes, he can be in some of the pictures. Yep. He totally can. Yeah. I do usually like to keep my individuals and couples separate, but I know you guys are traveling far. And that's because I like to focus, like on, usually there's a difference, right? So, the way that I like to word it is why I don't usually include do them at the same time, is because, my goal for individual boudoir is to work on your confidence and to heighten that, and to work through your body image issues and to get you to the best authentic spot of yourself, right? As a couple, I'm working on that with your relationship. And so it's a different experience and it's a different mindset, and it's a different type of work. And so I usually don't mix them, but you guys are traveling forever and it'll be fine. You'll just do the prep work and we'll work through it. Yeah. Sorry, there was another question I missed. How do you get him interested in the session? So most of the time, I will tell you, like, if a man isn't interested and wants something to do with it, if the female comes in and has a boudoir session first, the moment he, like, sees her photos, and has that, like, connection, and sees that you were that comfortable in front of me or the photographer or whatever at first, and that level, they get to see, oh shit, like, that's what you look like, you know what I mean, like, that's what the photos look like, that's incredible, right? And they see your confidence rise, and they see these changes in you, and then they're like, I think, like, I could do it. And I will say that that's what I've heard a lot. I obviously personally don't know. I'm not saying it to try to sell, like, 2 sessions. I've just been told that that's worked. That men have been like, no, I'd never do it. And then the moment, like, the woman comes home and shows them these pictures, they're like, I think I could do it. Otherwise, it's really just about, like, the prep work, right? And just telling them, like, working on his confidence, and his shame, obviously, like, around sex or his body, and all of that, like, working on that first. And that's part of the prep work, right? And the homework. So just getting him to understand that he has some shit to go through to be able to be comfortable with his body and his sexuality, and his intimacy, to be able to get to this spot, right? Because you have to think, in American society, I'm going to try to take a sip of this even though it's really hot. In American society, we are always like, oh, don't, like, look at another woman. Don't be naked in front of another woman. So he probably hasn't been naked in front of another woman since, like, you got together, number one. And number two, he's been, like, threatened, right? Like, he's, like, looked at other women. Our jealousy is, like, sky high. So there's that. So you're really asking him to, like, break all these bounds that he's been put in since the beginning of all relationships, within society, I guess. And that's not on you. That's on the society we grew up in, which is why I'm a sexologist, to work through all that shit that we've been put, all these boxes we've been put in, and all these things we've been told, right? And that's not saying that, like, I'm there to do anything or whatever. It's just the fact that they haven't been like that and they haven't experienced it. But women haven't either, right? But we're definitely more, I don't want to say comfortable with our bodies, but we actually have probably less confidence issues than men do, or, like, less, I don't want to say confidence, but I don't like, we have less care, I guess, in that sense, because, you know, we give birth and we go to gyno exams and all of these other things, and people are always up in our vaginas and they always look at our bodies, and it doesn't matter. But with men, it's a little bit different. That doesn't always happen to them. And their bodies aren't always sexualized, and their bodies aren't always touched by doctors and all of this. So it's just a little bit different, and they have a lot more work to do, sadly. And they've had a lot more, like, boxes. They've had boxes that they've been put in that we haven't, and then we have boxes that we've been put in that they haven't. So it's just a whole level of different, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Did I answer that? Hope I answered that. Awesome. Now that I'm slowly getting too loose. I have an itchy face, sorry. Awesome. So, back to our experiences. When it comes to, like, offering all these, like, different things, right? And offering couple, like, partners and individuals, erotica and boudoir and the in-betweens, I guess. There's not really an in-between, but the in-betweens, we want to say that, like, our experiences are all, like, kind of the same. But the thing is that none of them are. I have complete ADHD, and I have no qualms with that, and I don't actually hide behind it. I do often mention it because it's a huge part of me as a artist. I think it's a huge part of, like, the work I create and why I do what I do. And I didn't realize that. I was just diagnosed, like, 2 years ago. But, like, thinking about it, right, I do not at all enjoy the business side of what I do, but I love creating, and so no session or experience is the same. I do not understand flow posing, which is where you, like, have a set way in which you enter the studio and you do this pose, this pose, this pose, and, like, you work through it in front of this set and blah blah blah. And I will tell you that 90% of photographers do this because they sell so many courses on it and so many workbooks and so many whatever and, like, flow posing guides. Clearly not for us ADHD folks. Because, or at least as an artist, because when you walk in, I want to know your vibes, I want to know your energy, I want to feel you out, and then I want to create, like, what matches that, and that's never the same for one person as it is for another, and it's never the same for one couple to another couple, or an erotica to a boudoir. It's always different, and so you might see, like, the same poses or the same types of things, but for every couple, it's different. It's a different energy. It's a different mindset. And I don't go, oh, well, they didn't do this pose yet, or they didn't do this pose yet. Sometimes I'm like, I haven't put them in this position yet, if it's, like, erotica. But it's never like, oh, they need to do this pose, they need to do this pose, and then this pose, and this pose, and blah, blah, blah. And that's because I want everything to be different. I want to match your energy and your vibe, and I want it to work perfect with, like, the piece of lingerie you chose, or that, like, kinky add-on you chose. And I also just don't plan. I'm not a planner. If I wanted to be a planner, I wouldn't be an artist. And I don't think you can plan art or creativity. So you just have to do it. You just like, roll with the punches. And sometimes, like, you'll see me during my session and be like, oh, okay. So we're not going to do it here because I want to do this here in this outfit because, like, I'm totally seeing that unravel in my head right now. And that sounds perfect. Or I've been thinking about you guys, like, if I've shot you before, Matt and Meredith definitely know. I'll be like, so I have all these really good ideas for you two. And my head's been just unraveling of ideas of how I can push your intimacy and push you guys to try new things during the session and whatever. And that's just fun, right? That's the creation side of it, and not sitting and having a plan or a flow or a best-selling poses guide that tells me exactly what shots to get to sell the best sell the most amount of money and whatever. It's just not what I do and ever what I want to do. I just want to create beautiful art. So yeah. So now that we went through that, but experiences are typically between 3 to 5 hours. If you start at 9 a.m., we're going to end usually around 12 or 1 if it's a boudoir. Sometimes a little later if it's erotica. It depends on the vibe and how long your hair and makeup takes if you have it done. Those are spent obviously doing hair and makeup. We go from hair and makeup to doing a little bit of a, like, fashion show with our client closet. Our client closet is massive. So with over 600 pieces, we pull out ones that match your like questionnaire things. So if you're like, oh, I really love lacy and colorful, or I really love black and like leather, or I really love straps, we pull out things in your size and body type to match that vibe that you're looking for. Sorry, I'm gonna pause and take a drink. Sick. Yeah, so to match that vibe that you're going for. And then we have a fashion show. And people usually typically think that I'm going to, I guess, hand you outfits, and then when you put it on, if we like it, we just go. It's not how I do things here. So we pull out outfits. Say I pull out 8, right? Typically, it's usually about 8, if not more. We do a fashion show. So you try on each piece. We say whether we love it or don't love it, like it, whatever, and put it in a pile, and then we go like to the next one, and we go through them. We kind of say, well, I like this one better than that one, or I like this one better than that one. If we super love a bunch, then we super love a bunch. I don't really do the like, 3 outfits and that's it. If you try on 5 bangers, like, I'm gonna shoot all 5 of those bangers, because like, why not? Like, they look stunning. Why am I going to limit myself? Like, oh no, I just don't get it. So that's not what we're gonna do. We're just gonna shoot them all. I saw that creepy look. So we kind of just go through that and shoot them. That's pretty much how that goes. We do this thing where like I have you bring usually a black thong. Oh, you saw the creepy look too, Merida. I have you bring a black thong, and that's to try it for the fashion show. So you wear it underneath all the outfits you try on. But during the session, we have sanitation stickers that go on all of our outfits, and so those go on instead of wearing the thong, so that we don't have to edit it out. And it just makes things easier. Also, it looks nicer, and then it's not in your pictures, and you don't have to worry about it. And then, of course, we go through the sanitation and washing and whatever process after you wear the pieces, as we do with our furniture and everything else in the studio. The cleaning of the studio is pretty much Joe's job. Laundry's kind of my job. He doesn't really know how to do all that, I guess, for the studio stuff. Let's see what else I need to tell you. What else do I need to tell you guys? Let's see. Don't really know. Oh, I think the funniest thing that people usually don't realize is that with your outfits, we always start in your least favorite. And I know I just told you that we choose all of your favorites, right? But we choose your least favorite out of your favorites. And we do that because in the first few pictures, you're not as comfortable. You're not as, like, loose and ready. You're not, like, having as much fun as we're going to in the next whatever. But, like, that first 5 to 10 minutes, we're kind of, like, getting you not awkward. We're loosening you up. We're getting you used to the movements and stuff, because I don't do poses. I do movements. Everything is natural in our things. That's movements and whatever. And it might not be natural to you at first. By the end of the session, you'll be rocking it. Like, you'll have it. We do a lot of body rubbing and a lot of touching and learning to enjoy the touch of our fingers on our bodies. And if it's a partner, like, yeah, it's great. It's just learning to re-indulge with your body and feel it and go through that, right? And just, we don't, I guess, sit and, like, show our body appreciation. So I also say, like, we're going to show our body love. And we're going to show it affection, and we're going to show it that we actually care and that we actually are thinking about it. Because not often do people usually take the time to think about their body and the fact of all that it's given them. And so that's what we're going to do. Any questions so far? Now that I'm, like, trying to slow down because I can feel my voice just... This is not usually my tone level. Normally I'm hype, but my throat is on fire. So that's fine. Let's see. Have I ever had somebody who didn't... I'm going to read it so that people who watch the replay, because I downloaded it, will know. But have you ever had someone who was too frigid or really get past the first few minutes, or like someone that you just weren't able to get going? I'm so worried I'm going to freeze and kill the vibe. there's only one way. And I will tell you, there's only one way that can happen. And that has ever happened. And that's if you refuse to talk to me. I do this for a living. I actually genuinely care about you. I care about your intimacy. I care about your confidence. I care about your life. I want to know about you. Like, I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to want to learn about you. And I'm going to want to care about your life, right? So as I ask questions, if you just give me okay, no, yes, sometimes, fine, like, you're going to freeze yourself. And that's just the truth, because if I can't interact with you and if I can't even break through that and get a real person, then how am I supposed to show a real person? How am I supposed to create beautiful images of you if you're not letting me in to even see you? And I don't usually have that happen often. And if it starts to, I'll be like, you're being kind of quiet. Like, you're not really answering me. You're not, like, something wrong? How can I help you? What's going on? Like, I try to, I call you out, because you're not just there for pretty pictures. And also, we want gorgeous photos. But I also need to know why you are freezing up, and why you're not confident, and why you're nervous, or why you don't want to talk to me about it. Or what's going on and which has you feeling that type of way. And I want to break into that. So that's really important for me. And as I said, I've never had someone be too frigid if we talk, right? Because I will take as long as I have to talking to you and getting you comfortable and showing you the things. I have zero problem working through how to move your body and how to do things over and over again. What do you mean something feels uncomfortable, Cheryl? Like, something for me, like someone's giving me an uncomfortable vibe, or a pose feels uncomfortable, or can you explain just a little bit more? I just want to make sure I'm answering the right question, because there's different levels of uncomfort, right? So many different levels of uncomfort. Yeah. So if a position is uncomfortable, we work with it. There's different ways to do every single position. Different ways to do all of them. If you can't arch, there's a way to put a pillow under you so that you can have a gorgeous arch. If the pillow doesn't work, there's a way to have you arch on a piece of furniture that makes it look like you have the most glorious arch ever that you don't actually have. If it gets too emotional, we stop and we get emotional. There's nothing wrong with being emotional. There's nothing wrong with emotions. And there's nothing wrong with feeling those in an intense moment of finding yourself. That's beautiful. And also, I might get pictures of it, because it's a beautiful moment in which you're seeing yourself and feeling yourself and finding yourself in a new way. And I don't think that not capturing that would do us any good, right? We want to see that. That vulnerability is so important, and it's actually strength for me. Being vulnerable, being honest, and being yourself is the strongest thing you can do. Shut up, you are not an ugly crier. I've seen you cry. Ridiculous. I have photos, beautiful photos of you crying. Beautiful. Yeah. I hope that answered questions. But it really is all about that communication. That's why we do the homework. That's why we have the assignments. That's why I'm literally a text away. That's why you have access to me. That's why I'm here, right? That's why I'm active in the group. That's why I'm literally available to my clients. If I'm not available, my assistant's available. If I'm sick, I'm still here doing this live. I will try my best. It might not be literally a that response, but I will get back to you. And I do care. And sometimes my response won't be like that, because I want time to actually write out the response, and I want to give you the time that you deserve in that response and the care that you deserve. Yeah, sorry. It's getting a little rough over here. But getting to know yourself, I guess, and getting to know the experience and trusting me is huge. But I've never had anybody who was super frigid. And if they were, afterwards they would be I've had a few people who were quiet, right? Which makes things a little hard for me, because I love to talk. I love to get to know you. I do want more from you, because it does help me dive deeper and help me transform you even more. And if I can't get that, that's fine. You might not be ready for that. I'm going to work with it, and we're going to move through it anyway, and create gorgeous imagery. And hopefully by the end of it, I can convince you to go back. And if most of the time those people haven't done the homework, they haven't done any of the growth course or any of that I've created. And I really, really push at the end of it, like through an email and everything. And I say, hey, gorgeous. So today was beautiful. You did great. I did sense you were a little quiet and nervous. Is there any way that you could possibly go back and like revisit the homework and try to do some of that and tell me how like it makes you feel? And I've actually gotten like apologies being like, I was just going through this really intense shit. I've been struggling with this, and this. I'm blah, blah, blah. My pictures remind me of how strong I am, and just amazing like responses to people who might not have been in the moment to be just happy-go-lucky, right? And I get that. Sometimes shit's fucking hard and you can't do whatever, even though I'll reschedule your session, but I actually love that vulnerability, so I don't always push it. But, yeah, just be yourselves. Like, that's what it is. If you're in a tough spot, let's photograph that tough spot. Let's work through that tough spot with the experience. I hope that makes sense. I hope all of this makes sense. I try to explain it in the best way that I know how, and explaining how I do things. So yeah, any more questions? Yeah. My throat is like dying. Just a little bit. Yeah. I'm trying to think about what else with our experiences. Okay, I guess I can talk about like how it goes. So talked about showing up on time, 10 minutes early max. Do not show up more than that. I won't be ready. I might just be pouring my coffee. I might be cleaning off the mirror for the 30th time because I always touch it and get it dirty. Whatever. I might have just dropped my kid off to school. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. You can show up early. If you just message me, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll be there around this time. But not really an early riser, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, I drop my kid off for school, I come, I clean up last minutes, I get things smelling good, I kind of get in my moment, I clear the energies of, like, the room. A lot of it, things that are kind of behind the scenes that don't really happen in front of you guys, but I do usually, we sage often, and we clear the energies, because, as I said, what people bring in can be super heavy, and not always positive. And so clearing that before the next person comes in, so that doesn't mix in, whether you believe in that or not. That's your vibe. I just believe in cleansing my space before the next person comes in with their stuff. And also cleansing just how I'm feeling and whatever else. So we do that. But everything kind of gets sanitized right down, and sprayed beforehand, including laundry that wasn't even worn. We do like a sanitizing spray and all of that, because they might have ran their fingers through it, they might have touched it, whatever. We just do that to keep it safe, whatever. Show up, hair and makeup, we talk a little bit, then we start in hair and makeup, talk the whole time, laugh, whatever. Take our good old time. You can have coffee, water, whatever. We get you everything that you ask for besides alcohol. I do not serve it. You can bring it, but I will not serve it to you. Let's see. Then we do our fashion show. Choose our outfits, and then we get started. We play whatever music you want, if you have a playlist. If not, I just play what I vibe to, which is normally like 2000s hip-hop, or if we're going more sexy, it's my boudoir playlist, which is more like intimacy music, and sensual, slower stuff. It's not Get At It, which is like my 2000s hip-hop for boudoir to get you booty popping in the middle of your session. But I do have a lot of people who send me their Spotify playlist, and we play that during their experience. So we shoot, and typically the session's usually about 60 to 90 minutes of shooting between changing outfits and moving things around and playing with lights and playing with different settings, and just laughing and sitting down and maybe crying and going through all of that together. So, and then after that, we typically will wrap up, hug. We usually always hug. I'm a huge hugger. I love to hug my clients. And we talk about products. So we sit down and look at products, and we talk more and whatever. When you finally leave my sad face, because I hate that you're leaving, we set up your viewing, and we typically do that virtually. You can either set it up at your session, or I email you when we're ready, and we set up your virtual viewing if you're not close by. If you're close by, you can totally come do it in person, but a lot of people do it virtually because it's easier, whatever. And then if you're getting all of your digitals, they just get sent to you in a gallery. If you're paid up that day of your viewing, I send them right after, unless they require, my voice is not breaking, unless they require further edits. If you chose like a certain amount, we narrow it down, and then I'll send you just that many over, unless they need edits. Same thing, right? And then we order products, and products typically take 3 to 4 weeks. Typically, during holiday season, that's usually about 4 to 6 weeks, because it's Christmas. Everything's crazy. Right now starts that season, right, where everything's about 4 to 6 weeks. If you're looking to have it by Christmas, end of October is usually our max, which is insane. Yeah. Trying to think of what else. And then I send you a great referral guide that can earn you like product credit and stuff. That includes sending me like a review and posting about your experience and whatever. If you do sign a release, we're going to do a live on releases too. But if you do sign a release, you'll like have a blog about you. You'll have a bunch of fun shit. And that's kind of what we do, is we use your photos to create more fun shit about our experiences and all of that. And I might ask you to like record a video about it, and we might make some TikToks during your session. We might just have more fun like making videos and being playful and doing funny shit beforehand. If you don't sign a release, that's fine. We don't care either way. We're gonna have a blast. We just do some other stuff if you do sign a release, so we can use it and show everybody how crazy your experience was. What else? I'm trying to make sure I do this right. There's like 5 different types of releases, so don't worry like if you're like, oh well, I can't show my face because this, or I don't want to do this, and you can choose out of the thousands of different whatever options. It'll be fine. Let's see, after that your products come in, you get your digitals. If you get digitals and then you wanted to choose your products, so say you got like 40 digitals and you have to choose 20 for your album, I'll send you your gallery, and then you'll have 2 weeks, 14 days to choose your 20 for your album. And I do that because prices are always changing, and also you're going to forget. We all have crazy fucking lives. Shit happens, whatever. And I don't want you to forget about your images. I want you to stay on top of it, and I want to get your products ordered. So, yeah. Hope that all makes sense. So products, yeah, that's all I got. You do get after homework too, but there's also another whole live coming about homework and our experience and how that works, doing all of that and what those are. But you do also get after homework and some after tasks and some ways to just keep connected and keep growing and working on yourself in your intimacy and all of that. So it's really fun. I like to think that we have something that is just different, right? You don't, as I said, you don't just come in and I send you how to prep for a boudoir session with photos, and then you show up and have photos, and then you get your products, and then you're gone. That's just not who I am. That's not what our experience is, and it's never what I want it to be. It's a whole different level of that. And so, yeah, we are going to be changing a few things in 2023, not with the Black Friday things, I don't think, but we're working on making this more about that transformation and that experience than just about the pictures, and that just being a mandatory like part of things that we do and how we do it. So yeah, anyway guys, I think that's the end of this live. If you don't have any more questions about kind of just the gist of things, I guess I can talk about that. I don't know how many people are going to make it towards the end of the live, but if you are planning to book or looking to book and you're thinking about an experience, a lot of people ask how far you should book. So many people message me like, you know, like I want to shoot next week, or I want to shoot the week after, or I want to shoot in October. Sorry. sick life. And I'm like, I mean, I guess if you want, like if I have an opening, like I randomly had an opening. But most of the time the answer is no. I do want you to book 3 to 4 months out at least. And that's to do the homework and to do the assignments. And also to set up a prepayment plan or set up something that helps you with the investment. That way you have time to think about your products. You have time to think about everything. And you have time to work on it. And that way you also prep right? Like prepping does not take a week if you want to do it right. And it involves stretching and drinking water and all these other things and doing your homework and changing the way you might wake up in the morning. There's just different things. And I don't think that a week or 2 or even a month allows you to make those changes that can actually impact you. So that when you walk into your experience, you're at least a better version of yourself or a better version of your most authentic self and closer to being that. So that's what I strive for. So I think 3 to 4 months is super important to give yourself time to get it all done and work on it. And the great thing is that, Black Friday is only to book January to June or January to July, I think, of next year. And that's because it's just, I want you, one, to have the time, but I've also realized people who book a whole year out totally forget, and they're not as excited, and then by this time they cancel. And so they've wasted that money, and they've wasted my time, and they've wasted the part in the schedule, and so it's just not fun, and it's not fair to me or to whatever. And so we've decided to limit it to the first, I think, 6 months of the year. And I forgot what else. That also gives you time for payment plans. So with this Black Friday sale, it is all inclusive, but there's a retainer down and then payment plan set up. So if you book June, that gives you, I don't know, November, December, that gives you 8 months if you want to do a December payment. But I do actually offer all my payment plans to take off December. So we do that so that you don't have to worry about it around Christmas. So, yeah. I'm also the most easy person to work with. If you need to miss skip a payment and work on it, push out, I don't care. As long as you communicate. I'm really big on, communication, no ghosting. Just tell me what you need and we'll work with it. But I am going to let you go because I'm totally losing my voice. I love you guys. Thank you for joining. Thank you for asking questions. Thank you for being amazing. And I hope you catch us next week live at the same time. And then I think the 19th is our next one. And then we have a live session. So we're going to be shooting live, I think 2 live females on Monday the 24th. So put that in your calendar. It'll be at 10 a.m. that will probably be starting. So Monday the 24th at 10 a.m. we'll be shooting live clients. Not sure if we're going to shoot them here. We'll probably start shooting them here and then move to Discord if it gets too spicy. But we'll shoot them here and then share in the groups. So hope to see you guys there. I'm going to go rest because I do not feel good. Thank you for loving my whole no makeup, enjoying the night, in my pajamas self, drinking tea, because that tells me how much you guys love me and my authentic self. So, yeah. Mwah. I love you all. Thank you. Bye.